Now, let's talk about during PI planning. My last video that I did, I talked about what a Scrum Master do, a role of a Scrum Master prior to PI planning. And today, in this video, I'm going to be discussing the role of a Scrum Master during PI planning. Welcome back to Aisha Scrum platform. I'm very happy to have you all again. So let's go into it. So during PI planning, it is very important to know that the role of a Scrum Master, it is very important. And based on companies that I've worked for, our PI planning is a 2 days event. I know for some company they'll do this like 3 days, but I'm going to be basing mine off of 2 days event of a PI planning. So today is the first day of PI planning, and the good thing about PI planning, what I love so much about PI planning is that everyone under the same art and agile release train, they are all at the same time will be part of this PI planning to this event, which is, it means that anyone you were trying to struggle to get in hold of during your sprint, anyone you would like to have access to, anyone from a different team, from a different art, anyone that you want to meet up, and the PI planning is made and is best for during that time, where you can link up and connect with people and ways you can solve any burning issues you have within your team or within any dependency. So now, today is the first day of PI planning, and usually on the first day of PI planning, we are all joining the release train engineer kickoff meeting. So usually for what I participated for the first 3 hours in the morning, we all of my team and everybody else under that same art will join the kickoff meeting, where the release train engineer will go over the PI objective, the goals, and then as a team, we already started to prepare about what we're going to be reading out to the team for the kickoff. And the product owner, will come in and read out our objectives for this PI that's about to start. And sometimes also showcase the roadmap. And I was also being part of a place where the product owner will also discuss our last PI, what was accomplished, what was not accomplished, and also what we plan to work on in this PI. And now, the role of a Scrum Master during this event, like what I've also participated in, was to read out my capacity draft. Yes, during the PI planning itself, where discuss how the team plan to allocate their time for this PI and what sprints they plan to do what. So we'll first read out this draft, and also our PI objective and our PI goal and the roadmap are also draft. And hopefully you're one of those teams that have already done a lot of stuff during your pre-PI planning, so your draft might look like a draft, but you already have most of your things already in place. So that's very important. So now, after these first 3 hours and already in place, every team will come in and present their roadmap. We talk about their objective, we talk about their goals, and also we do milestones, achievements, and also sometimes they do kudos to a team and all of that. And now, after the first early three hours in the morning kickoff, then the rest of the afternoon, during our breakout session, we meet together as a team and now revisit those items we'll be visiting during our pre-PI planning prep. So like our futures, our epic, we continue to have those conversations. And the good thing now, we are in breakout session, and during the breakout session, and I'm asking the team and I'm asking the product owner, so who else do we need that can help us solve any of our issue? So let's say we had like a architectural engineer that's basically one, and that one architectural engineer is split between teams. So then I'll be telling the team, okay, you can go on and have this meeting, and I'll go look for ways I can bring in this architectural engineer to our team and look for ways how we can have communication regarding which sprints does he plan to help us do our work. So then the team will continue to break down the user story and continue to have that conversation while I do the legwork and help my team and support them and bring whoever that will be deemed needed during that time and start reaching out to them, pin them on Teams and ask them, okay, are you available right now? My team is currently on a breakout session. Is there a way you can come in and support us because we are in need of a matter? and solution architect will join in if they are available. If not, they will tell me around what time they have their availabilities. So I'll also try to work that availability with my team so we can now able to get that person that's needed in that team. That's one. Other things that I'm doing also as a Scrum Master is also looking for my people that we are dependent on. And things that I've always done that have helped me is that I've already built those relationships with those Scrum Master or the team, and we already met during our pre-PI planning prep. So now we still need them, right, to come into our meeting, or maybe we have to go into their meeting and to their breakout session and have one more conversation regarding our work and how we plan to map out these futures, and if so, in which of the sprints they'll be, who will be going first. So we seal those deals and those conversations that already started ahead, and further revisit and get to our consensual agreements in those futures or which sprints of that. So, and let's say now as a Scrum Master, we all know that sometimes we have two teams, right? And if you have two teams and sometimes we have a breakout session around the same exact time, right? And you have your breakout session at the same time with your other team, and now you're the one Scrum Master and you look like, okay, do I go to team A or do I go to team B? And what I've done as a Scrum Master to help me decide on what team to attend or what team to delegate is to look at my overall culture of the team. I start assessing my previous PI. Okay, how did team A did? Was team A able to deliver all their value? Were they like able to support each other and raise concern as needed? Were they able to and deliver all their value, and also were open for feedback, open for improvement, and they're one of those teams that will bring everything to the table and have those conversations? And were their velocity okay, or did we see that the team actually improved or they deemed themselves improved? And let's say the team is good, then I'm looking at team B and assessing like, oh, team B need more support. Oh, we have 3 members of team B, they are new to our company. And we have like, the project is new. There was a lot of questions during our pre-PI planning prep. There was still a lot of things that we still didn't clarify. We still have to reach out to a lot of other people. Even though we already started all those preparation during prep, there are still a lot of questions that need to be answered to support team B. So ways that I've done to help me is that since my team A is not as challenged, they feel stable, they feel okay, and in team A, I would delegate someone to help facilitate those sessions and help bring up whoever the SMEs that will help us support team A. For example, usually I always ask the product owner, oh, would you mind taking over team A because I have to go into team B's breakout session? And then the product owner, most of the time, they always say yes. Okay, Aisha, I'm going to take over team A, then you can go support team B. So then team A, hopefully they'll be doing fine. If needed, they'll always tell them you can pin me and I'll get in and support you. Or if you need anything at the side you want me to help or bring, let me know, I can do that. Then I will join team B because I deem team B as team that need more support, that need more assistance. And then I join team B. So that's very, very important to know that it's something that you, the Scrum Master, should start figuring those ahead of time and know how to assess your team and know which team will need more of a support. And guess what? If you have only one team, then that's even easy, right? Because then you focus on that one team alone. But I know most of the time I've always had 2 teams, so that's why I'm giving these different scenarios on that. So the next thing that we do, let's say now the team already in team B, and we still have a lot of challenges, and they are new to the company, or they are even new to Agile, they are new to Safe. And in that case, I'm looking for bringing out someone else from a different team that's available, that's willing to come in and support this developer. Or maybe we have junior developers too, and there's a lot of question and clarification needed in our epic or future. And I'm also getting someone else from different team, anyone who's I deem subject matter expert, anyone that I deem that have more experience, that can come in, that have the knowledge of what we are working on. I'll bring those people to help support us in team B, because guess what? Everyone in the company are in PI planning. So everyone knows the time that we all link up and connect and support each other, help each other, and get all of these futures and the stories breaking down And also meet and greet is really, really fun. It's a really fun event about PI planning. So let's say all that is done. Now I'm also then, hopefully team B is now situated, and then I will tell that product owner, okay, now that everything is you're situated with getting all the people needed to support this team, I now have to jump back to my team A. So then I go back to my team A and look at how things are going. Hopefully everything is fine. If not, I'm also asking the team, oh, what else do you need from me? Do you need me to get anyone? What about this dependency we identified during pre-PI planning prep? What about that dependency? What about these risks? What are ways we can solve this? So I start getting my team to think by asking all of these transformational questions. Let's talk about now the user stories, right? Are we able to now break those epic or futures to user stories? If not, which of those are now challenges that we are facing? Or which one do we need to bring the PMO or anyone from product that can come in to further explain this thing, that will support the product owner or a business analyst that's also knowledgeable of their work? Who else can we bring? So let's say now all of that is already situated, everything is broken down, and they already map out which of the stories will be going for which sprint. And then as a team, the next thing we have always done is to also do estimation. I know, right? People are like, oh, do you really estimate during PI planning? Yes, I've been part of a company whereby we did not estimate during PI planning. I've also been part of a company whereby we have estimated our work sprint to sprint during pre-PI planning prep, or during PI planning itself. We also like estimates. So that's why capacity planning is very, very important as a Scrum Master, our role, to get those ahead of time. Because if you can get your capacity planning and the holidays and vacation, all of those things cleared out, during your pre-PI planning prep, you already start mapping out and looking at each sprint. Well, how much velocity do you have for each sprint based on the capacity? So if you can map those out, so when team are splitting user stories sprint to sprint, you remind the team, oh, by the way, team, looking at our capacity for PI 5.1, sprint 1, we have only 40 story points for the sprint 1. And I see in our board, we already committed to 50. And that's alarming, right? That's some place that it's our role to remind the team. Oh, I see we are already mapping out this work in all of these sprints. And looking at all of these sprints, we already committed to more than our capacity. And that's something our role is to remind the team. Oh, by the way, I see in sprint 3, in this PI, based on what the work and the workload, how it's been distributed, oh, we have 40 story points, and I've seen we're only committed to 20 based on the estimation the team have already given. And you know the estimate when it comes to story points. Some companies still do by days. Most of the time it's safe. They go by 1 day, 1 story point, right? And also some teams, they focus on the team actual velocity. So it depends on what your company is doing. So all of those things have been mapped out, and you know. So that's why it's very, very important we do this capacity planning ahead of time. So now, let's say now everything has been going smoothly. We already like called in all those people, and I've pulled in all these people we needed, and we already at team to team, we already meet with the other team we're going to be dependent on, and also have this discussion and conversation on how we're going to break down our work. So now, let's say now for PI day 1, we're able to get most of our work done. And what have helped us prepare is from us being preparatory since prior to PI planning. And for that, then that's it for the first for PI day 1. And now, let's say we are now in PI day 2. Usually in the PI day 2, our last readout session for my company that I've been part of, we do that at the end of the day. Like usually like 2 to 5 p.m. will be the last readout for the whole PI. So what my team usually will do then, we'll continue from what we left from day 1. So now that we're in day 2 and it's the last day of PI planning, the team, we are now meeting again in our breakout session, and me as a Scrum Master, my role is to ask the team, so far looking at all of our board, looking at our future, looking at our epic, where do you all currently stand with this? What else do we need? Do anything else change in our capacity? I know right now is the last day because we did our draft already. Now, at where we currently stand, is there anything we need to change in our capacity planning? It's very important to revisit it even on the last day of PI planning, because sometimes anything can happen, right? Let's say you created this capacity planning 3 weeks ago during pre-PI planning prep, and now you're in the PI and you're the last day. It's still not too late to make changes, right? Because the first day of the PI, you gave your draft. So now is the last day of the PI planning. You're also revisiting everything, revisiting the broken down stories, looking at the sprint, looking at your dependency, looking at your risks, looking at everything, just for you all to further be in line with what you are committing on. So after all of that is done, and let's say all team are okay, and feel confident, or all team feel comfortable with what they already have, and any clarification needed, anything needed by the teams already been discussed. So the next thing I like to facilitate before we go back to our last readout is the confidence vote. I know it's very important because I've been part of a team where I see that they throw numbers out like, oh, I feel 3, I feel 4. But I think it's very, very important as a Scrum Master, my role, to ensure that everyone in my team, they feel comfortable with our commitment. So let me show you all what I've used that have helped me when it comes to confident vote. Is this map behind me here. So I have the confident vote during PI planning prep. So what I've done is to do a little mini lecture on this and just remind the team all, okay team, now that we all feel comfortable with our work, how we've split in our stories, how we've mapped out our sprint to sprint workload, we already did our estimation, we already have our capacity, we already have our product goal, our objectives, everything is already mapped out and clear. Now let's use this next 30 minutes and talk about our confidence votes before we go to our final readout. And then I'm bringing out my little board, usually I used to have my little PowerPoint, and I show up my team and tell them what each number means, right? Because we have the value from 0 to 5. That's the value. So I always like to do this little teaching to my team and tell the team that, all right, so when you are giving your value, the higher the number, the more confident you are regarding this PI. So the lower the number, then that, to me, if the team members are voting the lower number, so that's something that's concerning to me. So that's why I always like to do this little teaching, so it can just help everyone be in line and in sync with our commitment. So I will tell the team, when you give 0, 0 means no way. There is no way we can complete this work, Aisha. So there is no way this can be completed in the next PI. And I do not feel confident with this workload. I feel like we have way too much and we are working over to capacity, and that's something. So explaining what 0 means to the team. And 1 is, we need to talk about this. So meaning that, I see stuff, but there's still a lot of questions I have. There's still a lot of things we have to clarify. I still do not understand a lot of things that we'll be committing for. And 1 means the team is not even confident in it. And 2 is, I have reservation. Okay, maybe I might understand what you're asking of me and I understand what you are looking for, but I still have reservation about this commitment for this next PI. And 3 is, all right, I am okay with it. I understand, right? That's what 3 is saying. I am okay with it. I understand. This is what you're asking of me. Then actually, after going through the pre-PI planning prep, we're finishing up our PI, looking at all of our epic, looking at our description, our acceptance criteria, and all of these stories. I feel confident and I feel okay with it. And number 4 is, that sounds good, meaning that they feel confident, they feel like, okay, this is something that I have with me, I think this is very good, and after everything we plan, this is something that I feel very confident that we can do. And 5 is, looking at number 5 is total agreement. That means they 100% agree with the workload, with our capacity, with the future, with the epic. So as a Scrum Master, it's very, very important for you to take your time and explain all of these values to your team and explain what each value means, so that when the team members are voting, they are voting from knowledge. So my mentee knows this, right? Whenever you are introducing something new, or maybe you might not know, right? You might think that, oh, these teams, I came to this team, we've been doing PI planning, so you just assume that the team will know what the confident vote is all about. They might not know, right? So for everyone just to be in alignment, it's very important for you to always do little teaching, because being part of a Scrum Master, you constantly have to teach, right? So just do little teaching about something, especially like when you see new faces or when you yourself, you are new. Do little teaching about it, and so that everybody will be online. So when people are voting, they know what they are voting. So you teach before you and demonstrate, sometimes if needed, before you ask your team members to participate in something. And in this case, after you do your mini teaching, then you hopefully will not get your team to do their confidence vote. And if you notice that a lot of the team members are voting lower number, then to me that's alarming, and that's something that I'll have to hold off and get the numbers and get the average and ask the team that are voting the lowest to please further elaborate what's the reason behind them voting such a low number. Actually, one time I had a developer that voted like a 1, and I was okay, why did you vote at 1? Oh, I feel like the epic and the future was just too much for this amount of sprints. Okay, I understand that, so further elaborate. Oh, we have a new team, we have 2 developers that are new, and I have 1 junior developer. I'm the only senior developer. Although it's true we have the right amount of numbers, but guess what? We don't have the right amount of skills and experience needed to get all of these features or epic to done. And that was a very valid excuse. That was a very, very good point. And that's something that I know we had like almost 5 more hours before we ended the PI. We still had to go back and ask and the PMO office, like if there's a way we can just readdress this. Like, although we were trying to address this all since pre-PI planning prep, but sometimes things happen. What if you lost a team member during that 1 week prior to PI? Or someone just tell you like, oh, I'm actually not coming back next week. So it's very, very important to always use this moment in time and look for ways how you can solve this as a Scrum Master. And that's our role, to address all these uncertainties and address everything and just ensure that everyone is in line about what we are doing. And you get the people to explain. And maybe without further explanation about them voting the lowest number, that can get other people to explain further, or maybe even lend a supportive hand. They will now feel comfortable enough to even increase their number, because they know why. The team will be supportive and the team will help guide them to ensure that we turn all of these requirements to a valuable increment. I hope this has been very helpful regarding the role of a Scrum Master during PI planning. And there's a lot of things too we can continue to discuss when it comes to PI planning, but it's an event that's very, very beneficial if you can make use of it the right way. And thank you very much all for all of this. So my next video will be about what will be the role of a Scrum Master after PI planning. Thank you all for coming into my platform. I truly appreciate you all of your like and support. Please, if you find my content valuable, please like and subscribe to Aisha Scrum. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by next year of August. I truly, truly appreciate you all. See you again next time. Have a wonderful time.